Hey there, folks. My name is Kendall. I am one of the mental health and wellness consultants with Wellness and Learning Initiatives. And today we're going to be continuing the conversation around self care. You joined us last time when my colleague Chris was speaking to what self care is. Self care is the relationship with ourselves, but it also asks what is the relationship or self relationship with the external world. So it is a two-sided coin in which both of these questions are asked. What is my self-experience? So my desires, my wants, my needs, how do I get them met? And then also, what is my self-experience in regards to the external world, and how do I want that to look? So it starts and ends with you. So your self-experience is going to inform every relationship that you have. Okay, and this is why self-care is important. And for today's conversation, we're going to be looking at what interrupts or what gets in the way of self-care. And we know that there's a million and one reasons in which we can conjure up. It is ultimately a subjective experience, and a subjective experience in the sense of one size does not fit all. It is not a cookie cutter experience. You have to really go out there and understand what your needs are, desires, and wants, and how you want those to be met, how you go about getting those met. So something that can get in the way of self-care is when we're not prioritizing ourselves. And you can insert whatever reason fits your narrative, right? And it might be there's not enough time in the day. I know that's something that we commonly hear. And yes, this can be a truth. And I want to also challenge that because we have the same 24 hours. Self-care doesn't necessarily need to be a long process, stretched out process. Self-care can be as simple as a 2 minute slowing down and a 2 minute um, understanding of where am I? Where am I currently? Where am I today? So not necessarily where I was, but where am I today? What are my current needs? And how do I go about getting those addressed? Another reason why people can neglect their self-care is when they lack an awareness. So you're not tied to or anchored in an understanding of why this is important for you. When we don't have that understanding on how a balanced self will inform our relationship with the self and the world, then we can drop that off, right? So it's just getting in tune with understanding when we take care of ourselves, we can be in any situation. When we can control that internal storm, we can be in whatever external situations are going on with calmness and with presence. So when we perceive a lack of skills to navigate, so what can I do for self? When there's a lot of information around self-care that's out there, and sometimes it's just things that we're not either interested in or just doesn't fit with us, and that can be something that we sit on where there's nothing out there, or I don't know what is out there. Well, that's actually an invitation for you to engage in curiosity and exploration. There's a lot of ways that you can take care of yourself, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be in the behaviors. How you think is going to inform your relationships, right? The feelings that come up. These are all important things to look at, right? Access points to look at. Culture also impacts our experience with self-care. So what were the norms, the beliefs, the values that we were steeped in around self-care? What was modeled for us? What did we see in the home? So when we take our blueprints with us from our home environments, and especially around these different relationships, right? The relationship with self, what do we see? What was modeled? Was it a slowing down and taking care of yourself, tuning in, or was self-denial part of the script? Again, just holding this in awareness, right, and bringing in your history, because we all carry our histories, right? So, and knowing how is this going to impact my relationship with my own self-care, right? When it feels like self-care has to be this huge, monumental, all or nothing process, that can overwhelm people and keep you stuck and also interrupting your self-care, right? Keep you from accessing that relationship. And to kind of bring it back to that point is like self-care can be small. It is about finding magic in the minute. So in the small things, it's a scaffolding and it's a building up. And we're not waiting until moments of distress to then activate our self-care process or whatever practice we have in place. This is a process in which it's an ongoing daily practice and a daily self appraisal, self assessment. Where am I? What are my current needs? What are my current desires? How do I then articulate them with myself or whoever the outside party is necessary in that relationship, and then get those things met? So again, we wanna constantly be in relationship, in conversation with our self-care practice, so that in our moments, not just in our moments of distress, but any sort of moment where we want to take care of ourselves, or we're looking, or we're needing to take care of ourselves, we have actually a pool and a plethora of options, so a ton of options in which we can rely on. So I hope that this conversation has invited some curiosity and exploration in terms of what your own self care interruptions are, and then also your own self care practices. Right? What do you want that to look like? So I invite you to sit in that conversation with yourself, and please continue to join us as we continue to look at different ways that we can impact our self care in a positive way, and also for that in others we come into contact with. So thank you for joining me, and as always, take care of you, and we'll see you soon.